Alright folks, we're back. Thanks for watching that break. We are finally ready to go. We also have a tweet out. If you could help us out with a retweet, let everybody know about the final match of the evening. Starting now, soO versus Classic.
Oh my god. Retweet.
Or I guess it's Classic versus soO if you like alphabetical order.
What if I don't? What if I like it like alphabet soup?
What if you're all about that Dewey Decimal System?
What? Who? Why is that a thing?
For libraries, obviously.
Well, yeah, for libraries, obviously. But, like, is there really no easier way to do it, or is that really the easiest way? I don't know. I didn't take library sciences.
Well, maybe
someone else did.
North American schooling, am I right?
You didn't take library sciences either.
Ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 in the grand finals of the group. It's a little bit of a GSL rematch. Make sure to check out our sponsors over on bttv.ting.com if you live in the United States, as a great way to say thank you for providing these awesome games. But in the top left, he's blue, he's Protoss, and he's looking to get out of the group. It's Classic.
In the top right is the red Zerg. It's soO.
All right, I've got some favoritism to soO on this one. I think soO just in general doesn't have at all bad TV or ZVP, but more to the point what we talked about before, where right now at the cast of it's February 19th, he still has his round of 8 GSL match versus TY. And we were contemplating maybe he was holding back versus some of the Terran because he didn't want to show builds. I mean, he does stream frequently, so it's unlikely, but still a chance, right? But here versus Classic, there's no versus Protoss he's worried about hiding builds from, and he might just be able to go full force if he was holding back at all in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. It could be a whole thing of him being unleashed, or it might have been that he really thought that was going to work against Joxy. We won't know unless we ask him straight up. So Classic, I think this is kind of interesting, because it is Cactus Valley, and there's that really small wall that he is walling off right now with a pylon. I'm surprised he went for a double gateway opener, but didn't go for the natural wall off, I guess.
Cactus
Valley, it's not really too important.
It's got that really nice, in your words, small wall, so it's not too hard to pull off, I agree. But I think it's smart, though. Because if you do put the pylon on the low ground to open with, whether it's 2 gateways or a Nexus first, the chance of soO early pooling and killing that pylon and then the game being over, I think is actually kind of high. So the fact that he does this on the high ground, regardless of the map, I think it has everything to do with the person he's playing against.
Whoa, by putting on the high ground, it's a lower chance. Oh my god.
You're reaching with that one.
I'm reaching to the high ground for a high five. Okay, we're done. Lings are on the way, but only because... Good God, Lemon. Only because he did see the double gateway opener. And if you open up double gateways, I mean, unless you're super paranoid, you're not keeping those adepts back at home. So you gotta make the Lings. Okay. Transfers in, get the scout. Might get 2 drones. 2? 2?
3.
3? 4?
Ooh, nice build cancel out of soO.
Bam.
Well, the adepts get cleaned up, but I think one of the big things he scouts with this is like that there was no drones on gas. Regardless of the drone kills, he noticed that they were pulled off, and now he knows soO's possibly hitting with a lot of speedlings. It's not the case, but it is that possibility and that fear. So adepts on the front lines, he's ready to defend, and I don't think he's going to be moving from this position for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Thank you to Peter Lawford for the 2 months back-to-back, coming with some Twitch Prime action. Glad to have you back in the Base Trade Brigade for another month.
Nice. Well, I would say a defensive Bailing Nest timing, I guess. Seems like a little bit early, but he has yet to scout Classic's follow-up, really? Okay, so... Well, he's at Twilight Council, which is his follow-up, but I mean more like, I guess he hasn't really ensured that there's no more gateways coming down. And even if there's not 7 gateways, they're always going to do that whole, like, little, 7 adept attack because Protoss is cool, and if you already have Lings and Banelings, you can even counter, and it's pretty brutal. But, Lings can also take care of it. Overlords are getting full scouts, by the way, like, officially, so there really is no worry. There's a surprise all-in, or even a War Prism. That's also a really good thing to scout.
It's not really an all-in, but it's still a lot of adepts coming down the middle of the map, and Banlings are on the way, but it's like 4.
Yeah, the fact that it's 9 adepts and soO it doesn't have quite enough. He's like a little scary, but Class just scouted that he could have enough on the way. Yeah, so it's like a little scary for him to commit to. Because if you commit all these adepts, not adept all these commits, and a counterattack, you could be in trouble, or it just means your third doesn't get down and you're in trouble. Like either way, right? So gotta be careful.
This bothers me that bird is not a vulture. I really truly thought that this thing...
I'm kind of with you. I do kind of remember talking about it. Maybe last time it was in the map pool. Maybe they changed it just to mess with you.
They're like, this isn't PC enough.
Yeah.
We've got literally files full of these base trade kids causing us enough trouble. We got to make the maps at least not. Fun fact, guys, there's actually folders of complaints about base trade.
Yes, folders, because, they like killing trees, and like conical things aren't cool.
No, it's just funny because we have covered some Blizzard official events, and folks have not been thrilled with our use of language for said events.
Fuck those guys.
I mean, that was unnecessary.
Assholes.
That was also unnecessary, but yeah, so were the complaints, I guess.
I really hate the complaint too, because we're gonna tell a story to the end of time about how I got a complaint for cursing, and the cursing was actually not the curses I just used. It was for saying "for the love of God" and "for God's sake," which is a curse word in a lot of very religious people's eyes, and I'm just rolling my eyes so hard at that one.
Yeah. I don't know. I have weird opinions on cursing for stream. Like sometimes it slips because the second. You guys might not be aware of this. Like, I'm not a fake personality by any means, but the second we go off stream, I'm much more, we'll say, untethered with my language use.
Yep. Can attest to. Yep.
And on stream, I don't feel like there's a necessity to swear. Sometimes it can be just fun because you're in the moment. It's really, truly exciting. You really can't think of anything else to say.
I agree. Did you see Smix's mess up?
No, but Sphinx has had a lot of funny memes. Did you see the head nodding thing with her?
No. So she actually made a post about this, I guess, topic specifically, which is, I bring it up, where I didn't know what she did. I don't watch CSGO that often, but there's someone that clipped it and put it on Reddit, and people were kind of making fun of her, in a good way. They weren't actually upset, but she took it as I should do better next time. She was interviewing someone, and they done something really cool in the game, and she was like, "That was fucking awesome." And then she realized what she said, and tried to take it back. But luckily, it was on DreamHack, so they didn't really care. But it's funny because she also kind of had the same, I guess, explanation where she felt like she didn't have to, and it was okay that she did, but she would prefer not to type thing.
It's one of those things. The way I look at it here, both professionally and personally, is you can't lose people and fans for not swearing, but you can with swearing.
If only this guy would swear more, I'd be a fan.
Right? So it's... I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, the builds have kind of escalated past the point of just the little pokes and prods. It is going to be Roach Ravager Baneling versus what looks to be maybe a transfer into...
Yeah, this is actually a big scout too. This is a disgusting ass pylon coming out of Classic, by the way. Classic. Oh, make another one, please. But all these gateways, double stargates. This is the biggest reveal and the greatest scout that this overseer could have hoped to have seen. While this goes on, however, soO is not exactly in a terrible spot. Let's say this is Mass Phoenix into the follow-up of carriers. Well, soO's already done a great job of getting to 4 bases pretty lickety split, and he could really mine out and throw wave after wave after wave of bodies at his opponent. But, more importantly, he already has an army ready to go, so he could just hit before that's the case.
Yeah. I was a little weirded out by the double Stargate anyway in the first place, just because it is a little bit later, and it's already all these upgraded ground units, but it is going to be for Phoenix production for now.
Did you see that? I don't think you saw that. Uh-oh.
You didn't see it. Oh, now he does.
Okay, good reactions out of Classic. That was an oversaturated base with 27 probes. Those Banelings would have got an extraordinarily high score in kills, as this is all the probes from the main, just kind of transferring around while they wait for the 4th base to come down.
Yeah. I'm still really curious about this double Stargate transition, because it is, it was a little bit later, and there's already so much other tech going on, and maybe he changed his mind once he saw it was scouted, and then that's why he threw down the Templar Archives. I don't know, but he only got 4 Phoenixes, so it kind of feels like he changed his mind since it was scouted. even if it wasn't scouted, I worry about like what could have happened. soO is at and was at already 4 bases, 74 drones. Like he was getting ready to make army anyway. I don't know. I don't know. But it's a decent looking ground army. No storm, but a good number of force fields. And if he has to cancel the 4th, I think that's okay.
Yeah, well, is it though? I mean, if he had a 4th starting somewhere else.
Boo.
Okay, that sucks. I was gonna say, like, the 4th there should have been another one started down here the second he realized that was going to be some danger, because he's got all those probes. Again, like, this is 27 probes mining. This is like, you might as well be long distance mining if you could. War Prism over here is going to distract a little bit. The Stalker was a bit of a pain, but reveals that there are quite a number of Hydralisks already out. 21 more Banlings are on the way too, and I'm really liking soO's position in this game.
I like it too. I still don't think. Oh, if Classic had also canceled it. But even without the cancel, I don't think it was quite devastating to lose that 4th base because he didn't trade any army for it. He's still going to be able to get maxed out with decent upgrades. But it is like, if it's another cancel, then it's really worrying. Of course, the Scout and the Spire isn't too shocking. That does open up the possibility that soO transfers into something else, but it's unlikely. It should just be for cleaning up War Prisms.
Oh, those force fields, though. I'm feeling super sexy right now. I mean, this was really good out of Classic to start, but the Crucibles opened the doorway and the Banelings flooded in. Thing is, though, soO isn't quite broken Classic just yet. His army's still holding on the best of its capabilities, but this is so many Hydras. Forget the Banelings. Like, the Hydras alone just have a lot of raw damage. Yeah. One Mutalisk. Hello.
I'm helping. I'm not so sure about Classic's push out, first of all, because there could have been, a better position with less force fields having to be used, but then also, committing with the force fields.
That's
like,
game.
you gotta figure the force fields are gonna be broken. But he still kind of stayed around. Oh well. GG.
I think the worst part about that was, like, even if soO had a lesser army left over, he still gets that 4th. And at this point in the game, Classic can't afford to not have that 4th.
That's true.
That was really good out of soO. That was a fantastic, like, waiting game, I guess, to describe that. But as it is the last series today, guys, we're going to squeeze in a 2-minute break. And we'll see you for game number 2 here in just a moment. Thanks for watching. All right, loading into map number 2, Newkirk Precinct. Going to be the destination. Spawning here in the bottom left side. He's currently down 1 game in the series. Or, excuse me, bottom right side. He's currently down 1 game in the series. It's Classic.
Bottom left is the red Zerg. He is soO. soO great.
Socrates.
Socrates.
He's synonymous with victory.
Socrates. You know what Bill and Ted called Socrates?
Oh man, Bill and Ted. Wild Stallions!
That's a movie, that's for sure.
Actually, I will say one of the best Bill and Ted references all time for me was, if you guys ever watch Epic Rap Battles of History, Bill and Ted versus, what were the names? The guys who discovered America with that Sacagawea chick. Or not discovered, explored.
I was like, discover doesn't sound right. I keep thinking of the Wright brothers. I can't think of it.
The Wright brothers.
Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and Clark versus Bill and Ted was probably one of my more favorite Epic Rap Battles of History. But what is this? BaseTradeTV. I am a proud mother of 3 sons, and I enjoy watching StarCraft 2 as I clean the house and make grain muffins for my family. I have to say that all this cursing is making me question whether I choose the right stream to watch.
Oh, they misspelled weather.
Please consider using a more child-friendly vocabulary, or I will have to wash your mouth with soap. Now look, this is copy pasta, and this is nobody actually complaining, but I have had my mouth washed with soap as a child, and I will tell you that it does nothing but make you want to curse more. The second that soap bar goes in your mouth, you're not learning a lesson. You're building contempt for the next time the soap bar's out of your mouth.
That is bad news. Did you because you cursed?
Yeah, I was like, you know what the worst part is? I there's some words I didn't understand growing up. So for example,
sure.
Horsing or what was it? Slacking off and jerking off were 2 phrases I confused growing up. Yeah. So my mom one time heard me saying, like, yeah, the kids at school were jerking off today. Everyone was being really lazy. an 8-year-old innocent me is just kind of like meaning to say like slacking off, but misunderstanding what I'm saying. Got the bar of soap pretty quick for that one.
Those are mean of your mom.
The other word, which I didn't honestly think was a bad word, frig.
Like friggin'?
Yeah.
Like friggin' chicken?
So like I knew I couldn't say the F word. Like for me growing up, a lot of words like the C word, the F word, like these are words you just never ever say. You will suffer consequences. But I thought like working around it by saying frickin' or friggin', and my mom was like, no, you're not gonna loophole your way out of this one, young man. And
I knew some parents that were like that. I remember. I didn't really do anything wrong or whatever to be like punished, and my older brothers would do it before I did, so I learned how to do it. But I had like my aunts and uncles be kind of a strict. Like my cousin couldn't have bubble gum, so I just eat bubble gum in front of her all the time.
My favorite Reddit video of all time was that one of the kid asking like if he could swear just this one time after his brother was like such a dick to him in front of his dad. He's like, Dad, can I swear just this one time?
Ask permission.
Yeah, and the dad's like, sure. So he yells like, F you. But anyways, Spire is very quick out of soO.
It's a very weird build. I thought he was going to go for a Nidus all-in based off the lair and the Roachborn coming down. Was the Nidus, or was the Roachborn scouted? It wasn't. So I guess this is just... I don't even know what to say. Like, if the Roachborn was scouted and it was like a haha, tricked you because I'm actually going for a Spire, then that's cool and all, but nothing's really been scouted by Classic other than the lack of a third. Now, he's going to see the lair and the Roachborn soon with this Warp Prism, but then the Mutas will pop and the Warp Prism will die. This is more of a TvZ build when you're afraid that it's got like Hellions than it is a PvZ build.
I wish there was like 3 more gateways with this. I wish that this was like the sentries on the ramp and this was like that super abusive like force field, but you know, it's not even necessity for roaches. The queens alone push this back by threatening the Warp Prism. I mean, I think there was actually a lot of potential staying power had a Guardian Shield managed to get off, but unfortunately Classic, I do not believe, got any indication of either the Roachborn or the Spire. Oh, wow. No.
I mean, the lack of third is still suspicious, but you don't quite know what they're going for. And I would say most of the time you might be thinking like fast roach speed or something like that. You know, not the quickest lair with the quickest mutas in a PvZ. So Classic's going to take a third. Now, this is going to complicate things because even though it's kind of like in that triangle pattern, it's the issue of mutas going back and forth, and he does not have Blink Stalkers who would this early. He doesn't see it still, and as he brings his Warp Prism home, in like an emergency situation, it'll die. If he tries to use it, it doesn't have that really powerful of units. He's got very delicate sentries in it, so it's probably going to die. It's complicated. He's just gonna wow, immediately cancels the Nexus. I don't know about that because he's not using it for anything else. Oh, that's just game. Wow. Okay. I did not expect that.
Well,
oh man.
This is where I do want to discuss something actually important, though. So, first off, congratulations to soO. 2-0 finishes it up, and he's going to be the second player into the round of 16 for the wildcard group. Yay! However, if soO wins his GSL match, we're going to talk to him about possible timelines here, because if, for whatever reason, between now and the round of 16, soO decides to abstain from the TING Open and stick with GSL and focus solely on GSL, then Classic will be the one we invite back. So right now, Classic is out, and I want to make that very clear as day. soO's the one going forward into the round of 16. But, again, maybe he loses GSL, then it's really easy for him to focus on TING. Or maybe he wins GSL, gets to the semifinals, and then it's a whole different discussion. Either way, congratulations for now, soO. I hope to see you in the round of 16. Other than that, this was a really quick group. Another short cast, and all the more reason to instigate best of 5s going forward. But I know there's at least one person out there who's particularly happy about soO going a little bit further, so good luck with that. I do want to thank everybody for joining us on the stream today. Again, we kind of had a bit of a PSA about what happened, and I'm hoping that today and going forward there won't be any drama, because it really is just so behind us at this point, which is good. But one thing I could ask, and hopefully you guys could respect, is there's been a lot of misinformation thrown around. Don't perpetrate rumors. Don't spread misinformation. Just go with the facts for things. Whether it's about stuff we're doing on the channel with the TING Open, or the miscommunications with Wikipedia, or maybe it's like straight up Twitter fights like we saw yesterday. I do want to thank our fans who have been actually really well behaved through this. You guys get a big super extra shout out from me. But yeah, that's going to conclude today. So once again, check out the sponsors over on bttv.ting.com. The finals for this, that reminder, they are live. They're in San Jose, California. We're going to have a venue. We're going to have an event. We're going to hopefully have you guys come attend, and it will ideally be free. Right now, there's been nothing indicating in the slightest that that won't be the case, but just be aware that that's what we're working towards really, really diligently here on our end. March 25th and 26th. We do have all the round of 16 groups and dates posted on Team Liquid, by the way, if you guys haven't seen those. So March 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th will be the 4 round of 16 groups, with March 12th, a Sunday, being the round of 8. That round of 8 will determine which 4 players are actually going to go through and be in California. I'm actually really... I'm really hoping we see European powerhouse through this, because for me... Like, regardless of whether it's somebody like Nurchio or whether it's somebody like Bly or Snoot or whoever you think is your European fan, a fan of, excuse me, we're just so often seeing Koreans come to these things. So I'm really rooting for the foreigners on this one. I'm gonna be completely honest. But with so many Koreans left at this point, I wouldn't be too upset if 4 Koreans made it through either. Other than that, let's talk about today, 3 p.m. Pacific. We won't be casting the TING North American group with True, Masa, and Neeb. In fact, that will be taking place on Nathanius' channel, who's agreed to help us cover it. So, bless be the boy known Nathanius. Bless Nathanius. Also, for the next 4 days in a row, we're going to be hosting and focusing on the Blizzard map test tournament. Nathanius will also be helping us cast that as well. We actually have a full... listing of games to be cast, where they'll be cast, who's casting them up on Team Liquid, because it is a pretty substantial amount of games we're going to be trying to cover. So before we disappear, I do want to show that off, because again, this will be starting tomorrow and basically be happening for the entire week, more or less. So here's the post. I'll link it in chat, of course, but we already did the Korean one. That was good times. You'll see the VODs up on YouTube shortly. But Nathanius will be covering these 4 matches. These are all going to be best of 5s, by the way. Hero Marine versus DNS, Koss versus Lily Ganine, Mana versus Euthermal, and Lambo versus Beastie Cutie. We will be covering Bly versus Denver, Harson versus Fear, Optimus versus Snoot, and Nurchio versus Neeb. I think these are going to be some pretty fun matchups, and the maps will be different than the ones we saw already yesterday. We have a different map pool. You'll see a couple of the maps come back, but for the most part, it'll be all different maps to run and test. The reason I'm telling you about this here and now, though, is it's really important to us that you guys keep in mind when you tune in what maps you wanted to see, like which maps you're liking, which maps you're hating, and more importantly, which players you had the most fun watching, because the grand finals for this tournament, scrolling up a bit, is going to be an invite and a vote system, where 2 players are going to be invited back by popular vote, and 10 maps for the grand finals will be decided by you guys, the fans, which 10 of the 15 maps you enjoyed seeing the most. All maps will be played. There's $1,000 on the line for that. Should be good times. But yeah, that's the BaseTradeTV bump for what we're doing this week. Other than that, check out the map intro we posted on our YouTube. If someone could link that in chat, I'd be appreciated. YouTube.com/BaseTradeTV. And I think that finishes up what's coming up on the channel. So I hope to see you guys for more in the future. Before we end, though, Zombie Grub, any shout-outs or things you'd like to mention?
Follow me on Twitter at ZG Gaming, on Twitch, Zombie Grub, and YouTube, Zombie Grub. Look down the Amazon links down below. Check out my Patreon and Rifkin's a butt. No, I'm just kidding.
Where did that come from? Why did that come from?
I don't know, man. I felt the pressure of saying something other than just the promos, and then I was like, I don't know what else to say. Rifkin's the greatest guy in the world. You shouldn't have. You're welcome.
All right. Yeah, follow me on Twitter, Riff_Kings. It's the best way to keep in touch with everything that's going on. We'll be back again tomorrow, but I really want to emphasize that you guys join Nate on his stream tonight, as he'll be helping us cover that one TING group, because Zombie and I can't. So have a good day, everybody. I don't know whom we will host, but we'll find somebody awesome. And we'll see you tomorrow for the map test tournament day 1. Bye-bye.
Bye.